You know what you can do with this trophy? But put it on the shelf? I had a more colorful location in mind. What it do, YouTube? I'm Ricky. And I'm Ricardo. And welcome to my channel. If you're visiting for the first time, we are not twins. That is me. And today we are going to discuss participation trophies. Outside of politics and religion, it's one of the most debated and heated subjects in the world of child psychology and development. So what do we think? Other me, you have the floor. Participation trophies is what's wrong with this country. They serve no other purpose than to coddle losers so their feelings won't get hurt. It essentially eliminates the need and want to maintain discipline, accountability, and the motivation to do better. By taking that trophy home and putting it on your shelf, we're enabling a nation of spoiled, entitled brats who think that the very act of showing up and not putting forth enough effort to win should still be rewarded. I guarantee that that kid isn't going to try as hard if he knows he's going to go home with something. You know who's not going to give an award just for showing up? Who? Life. The real world. You think that when Matthew in marketing doesn't get that promotion with the new corner office, that his company is going to tell him, hey man, sorry that Samantha was better and more qualified than you. Here's a little certificate and a company mug with your name on it, and hopefully if the position opens up again, you'll get another shot. No. They're going to tell him to go back to his tiny ass cubicle and get back to work if he wants to keep the job he already has. I mean, look at YouTube. In order to start making money, viewers have to watch 4,000 hours of your videos and have 1,000 subscribers, all within a 12-month period. You think that when that 12-month come and goes and we're 72 hours and 13 subscribers short because people didn't like, share, and subscribe enough that YouTube is going to send us a little doodad and say, hey, sorry you didn't meet the goal this time. Maybe you'll get it next time. No. We're going to shrink back into the annals of YouTube and either give up or keep going. Of course, we're going to keep going. By giving kids these participation trophies, we're taking away the feeling of true failure. And kids need to be taught that at a young age so they can learn how to get back up. You know, for rewards to work, they have to be earned. And getting out of the car and running around on a field is not earning it. And it minimizes the real trophies. I mean, look at the kids that actually win. Their efforts and hard work are ultimately devalued because everybody gets a trophy. Let's look at high school. Here you have this kid with a dozen soccer trophies on his shelf because he's been playing since he was 4. Now in high school, you don't have to pay the $25 registration fee, give him a cool t-shirt and send him out there so you can fill up your Facebook timeline with his pictures. Now he has to actually try out. He has to prove that he's good enough. What's going to happen when he fails? Rather, if he fails. He's going to run up to that bulletin board, not see his name on the list, and then be left to his own feelings. And let me tell you, that crash is much, much harder. You want a kid to feel better for not winning? Then go take him out for an ice cream or something. Don't give him a trophy that's going to memorialize his failure forever. Excellent point. But here's where all that logic fails, and I'll start with the easiest one. The whole entitlement argument. Can it be argued that getting trophies as winners make you just as entitled? Let's take your imaginary Samantha, for example. What if she got the promotion, but she didn't get the corner office? She still has to work out of her cubicle and gets a $5,000 raise instead of a $10,000 raise. Would she not feel entitled considering the reward didn't exceed the effort? And YouTube, even if we do make the 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers because people liked, shared, and subscribed, we still have to pass the eye test. And what if we make $2 an hour instead of 20? Will we not feel entitled then? That's a ridiculous counter argument. In both cases, you should know the reward and determine whether or not you want to put forth the effort. Interesting. That's the crux of this entire video, but we're going to circle back to that statement. The next failed logic is assuming that the art of participation trophy first started with the millennials. You know who gave out the first documented participation trophies? Who? High schools back in the 1920s. Our military was giving them out during and after World War II. Soon after that, colleges started giving them out, and eventually they made their way down to the Pee Wee level. I don't see people complaining about those generations being spoiled and entitled. But at the same time, this isn't 30 years ago when we were growing up. I mean, what do we have? 32 channels on one television in the family room, maybe 1 or 2 game systems, and a couple of inanimate toys. There was nothing else. It didn't take much to get us off the couch and get us outside. But look at what parents have to compete with today to get their kids off the couch. 900 channels of TV, there's one in every room, social media, smartphones, multiple game systems where you can chat and play with people across the globe, iPads, click and play computer games. What's separating that kid from the kid that's getting out there and trying? That damn trophy. The next failure of logic, that just because they get these trophies, that they're going to become super entitled on into adulthood. The truth is that they can go one of 3 ways. Either they cannot be happy with the trophy and move on to something else. I wouldn't necessarily call it giving up. They can be happy with it and nothing else, or they can be happy with it and strive to get the bigger trophy. And you know what's the catalyst between all 3? You, the parent. If that kid doesn't win the big trophy, brings home the little trophy, and wants to try something else, let them. That's not a monument of their failure. That's a monument of them trying. And at least they got out there and tried. It doesn't matter whether they're 4 or 14. If they're happy with that little trophy and still want to compete, let them. If they don't put forth the effort to try harder, but still expect to get that little trophy, while still having fun, mind you, because that's important, you may start to see that sense of entitlement creeping in, and you can curb it right then and there. The last one really needs no explanation. If they want to get the bigger trophy, you stand behind them and let them strive to get better. And if it becomes obvious that they can't compete, then you encourage them to try something else. You don't do stupid like James Harrison did and give the trophy back thinking that that's going to make them try harder. We as parents have to start teaching our kids that there's more to it than winning and losing. Like I said earlier, with what we have to compete with these days for our children's attention and time, they should indeed be rewarded for trying new things. Reward them for the process as well as the outcome, and then explain to them that they got the trophy and let them decide how they want to proceed. We as adults can't determine that for them. All we can do is encourage them to not become entitled or be sore losers, or sore winners for that matter. I mean, you don't know what that little thing means to that kid until you actually talk to them. That trophy might mean more to them as a kid than we'll ever know as an adult, regardless of whether they won or lost to get it. I mean, that 220-pound kid that's running a community track team, he's awful. But at least he tried, and he's not sitting at home thinking, well, I won't win anyway, so why should I try? That trophy might mean an awful lot to that kid. Now, going on that logic, at what point do we start to realize that they may be venturing into the realm of entitlement? When they got 11 participation trophies from 6 different sports? The kids aren't stupid, but a child is more likely to gauge his success with quantity over quality. And you can't teach them that 11 little ones are just as good as one big one. Otherwise, the bar stayed low and they'll never try as hard. And before you know it, they'll only be signing up because you want them to, not because they want to. And I would agree with that. Most parents probably can't recognize it because they themselves feel entitled, since they paid the registration fee along with a ton of money for gear to leave with nothing if their kid wasn't good enough to get a placement trophy. Ultimately, I'll meet you halfway and say that participation trophies at their foundation are pretty stupid, but they are necessary if we as parents can teach our kids how to accept and deal with them and understand what they truly mean. Here's an idea on how to fix that, and it may uproot every single argument you have with it. You ready? Go. Okay, 1, stop calling them trophies. Trophies insinuate winning, and the participation trophy has become symbolic of not winning. So stop calling them trophies. 2, don't make it an actual trophy. Give them a small medal, a trinket, a game ball, something. Anything that's significantly smaller and less aesthetic than the placement trophy. And here's the big thing. Why not give them out at the moment of participation, at orientation or the opening ceremony or in the little welcome packets or something like that? Why wait to see who wins and who loses? Just give them all out at the beginning before competition even starts. Everybody will get one, whether they win or not. And those that do win will have another trophy in addition to this one. They'll end up taking home 2 items, and the big one is no longer minimized. By the time they get to true competition sports, when they don't get that little trinket at sign up, they'll know that nothing more is to come unless they win. That should weed out all these little fears of entitlement. And like you said, you should know the reward and determine whether or not you want to put forth the effort, because they'll know right out the gate that they're not going to get anything if they don't win. Just like the Oscars, each nominee gets like one of these $100,000 bags, these gift bags, and then that one person gets the trophy that's worth what, $400? You know that at least one person turns down that gift bag. However, I will say that to eliminate them all together and not take the chance. But if we have to, I would agree that that would be the best way to do it. What say you, YouTube? Should we eliminate them or keep them with the conditions? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this conversation, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know you liked it. Be certain to share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And to commemorate this event, I got a trophy. What? Relax, man. You got one too. Look under your chair. You know what you can do with this trophy? But put it on the shelf? I had a more colorful location in mind. I'm sure you did. And I've challenged myself. Have you? Over and out.